Folks, we are in some crazy times right now. A crazy time where we're seeing the S&P 500 do a U-turn despite recessionary fears. A crazy time where we're seeing mega Tesla bulls like Ross Gerber throwing a 420 party to celebrate the revolution of EVs and Tesla, while also inviting a mega Tesla bear like Gordon Johnson, with Gordon Johnson replying that he would love to come to the party. Crazy times. However, some individuals might define this differently. Individuals like Elon Musk recently tweeted that this is a fun time. However, I would argue that this is even a funner time if you are going long on Tesla for the long term. Now, someone tweeted that in 1903, Henry Ford's lawyer was advised not to buy stock in Ford. The horse is here to stay, he was told by a local bank president. He bought $5,000 worth of stock and sold it in 1919 for $12.5 million. And then in this tweet, we have Elon Musk reply, "In the fairly near future, internal combustion engines will be viewed in the same way that we view external combustion engine vehicles, steam engines." Basically saying that ICE vehicles are going to be gone, long gone like Harambe. Now, fun fact about Harambe that many people don't know, Elon Musk actually released a EDM song titled RIP Harambe. Go ahead and look it up on Google. I can't play it here because it would probably demonetize the video. However, I want to go ahead and talk about my views on Tesla, why I'm very bullish for the long term, and what are my thoughts for things going into Tesla in the short term. Now, looking at Tesla stock in the short term, we know that Tesla is going to announce its earnings after hours on Wednesday. However, I do not have a crystal ball, so I cannot tell you whether or not earnings are going to be good or whether or not they're going to be bad. We don't know what the margins are, and we have to wait for the numbers. However, I do expect Tesla stock to move either 7 to 8% going upwards or downwards. So this means that if Tesla stock has a good earnings, well, this could be really good for Tesla stock in the short term, simply because on a multitude of different videos, I express how there is a level of resistance that is causing a lot of trouble for Tesla stock around the $200 area, where we're seeing a lot of volume by price when we look at the volume profile. So if we could see Tesla have a good catalyst of good earnings, we could possibly see Tesla finally break above this area, which again is bullish for Tesla in the short term. Now, quick plug, I know a lot of people always ask what platform it is that I use to trade. I use the Webull platform, and they absolutely have a great offer going on where if you sign up with my link using Webull, you could get up to 12 free stocks valued up to $30,000. So I know right now is a time where anything you could get free is definitely something that you want to get. So make sure to check out that link in the description of this video. When I first signed up for Webull, I actually got a free share of Google. Now, this was back in 2019. Before Google stock actually split. So Google stock is actually worth a lot more than what it was back then, even though the price is cheaper. Obviously, it's because the stock split. But nonetheless, it is a great offer. I love the platform. I would not recommend it unless I actually used it, which I actually do. So definitely check out that link in the description below. And while we're at it, if you're new to the channel, make sure to hit that subscribe button. But with that being said, let's go ahead and talk about a few other things that I want to mention when it comes to Tesla stock on the long term. So there was this recent poll done the other day showing that there was a lot of public support for EV incentives in America, thus kind of showing that America is very pro EV. A lot of people are supporting EVs, they support the incentives for EVs, etc. However, something that was interesting in a poll is when asked whether or not individuals in America would, purchase their next vehicle as an EV, it was really low. However, one thing that you have to really look into is why was it low? Now, this was pretty interesting. It showed that fewer respondents expressed interest in buying an EV. Just 2 in 10 said they were very likely to make their EV their next car. So very low. However, more than 8 in 10 surveyed respondents cited price as a reason. So this is why it's very important to really note that a lot of people aren't buying EVs just yet because of the price. But what is Elon Musk doing at Tesla? Well, what they're actually doing is slashing the prices. Right now, I know on the mainstream media, it kind of seems like, oh, Tesla is desperate for demand. Well, that's not necessarily true. See, Tesla has a majority of the share for EV vehicles. They own that market, right? And if we actually look at the profit margins, we see that Tesla is above the competition. Look at where it is compared to GM, Toyota, Volkswagen, Hyundai, Ford. I mean, Ford is pretty pretty much on the bottom there, negative, losing money. NIO is pretty much just like burning money over there. So when we see that Tesla is slashing prices, what they're actually doing is strategically doing a price war, although it's not really a price war because you really can't call it a war when Tesla's just winning, right? Because at the end of the day, Tesla could slash their prices and actually still have a sizable profit margin for their vehicles, while this actually forces their competition to actually lower prices as well and actually slash their, profit margins, which hurt them. And then if you look at companies like Ford and of course NIO, that really hurts them. So this is why I'm very bullish on Tesla. One of the things you have to understand as an investor is you have to understand the discrepancy between price and value. And right now, Tesla is still extremely valuable. It's underpriced in the long term. Of course, in the short term, things are not looking good. Things are moving sideways. We have to see what ends up happening. We're not having favorable market conditions. But what happens when we do enter into the next bull cycle? When we do have, favorable, good economic conditions? Where do you see Tesla?
To the moon and back.
So not only will Tesla stock succeed, here's why I and Elon Musk himself believe that a lot of these ICE vehicles, a lot of these internal combustion engine manufacturing companies won't survive, and that is simply because there is a clear evident trend for EV vehicles. There's going to be a mass adoption, and so these legacy automakers, whether they like it or not, they're going to have to produce EV vehicles, right? And there's two reasons why they're gonna have to do this. One, because obviously the trend for EV vehicles is going up year by year, right? But another reason is because of government regulation. We already know that there's been regulations and plans already set in place to really make sure that mass adoption for EVs actually does happen, whether it's 2030 or 2035. There's plans and conversations of this happening. So a lot of these legacy vehicles, they're kind of in trouble. They're kind of going to be struggling. And by the time they enter into the EV space, right, a lot of people believe, well, once these other competitors enter into the EV space, it's over for Tesla. No, not necessarily, right? Because it's not just like hopping into a new niche and then automatically being profitable. They don't have the infrastructure. And once they have the infrastructure, maybe they may not have the same vertical supply chain that Tesla has already, spent years on building. So this is why Tesla has the lead above all these, previous legacy automakers. And even when they do hop into the trend, they're going to be far behind because their concern is to become profitable, while Tesla is already profitable, and their concern is just scaling up to being able to produce more vehicles. So that's why, I'm very bullish for Tesla stock in the long term. I consider myself a long-term investor for Tesla. I do have exposure to Tesla in my long-term portfolio, but I also trade Tesla. So that's why oftentimes in my videos, you guys see me talking about price action for Tesla in the short term, because when Tesla does go down, yeah, maybe I'll short Tesla, maybe I'll buy some puts in the short term. Doesn't mean that I'm bearish on Tesla in the long term. It just means that, I definitely want to profit off the fluctuation in price in Tesla for right now in the time being to hedge my position in my other long-term portfolio. Now, I know that throws people off. They're like, how can you be bearish and bullish at the same time? Well, I'm bullish and bearish at different time horizons. I'm bullish in the long term, and I slightly may be bearish in the short term. But with that being said, guys, let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Tesla after earnings? And do you guys believe that Tesla is a great opportunity now as we are heading towards the future? Let me know. I'd love to see your comments. And with that being said, make sure to watch this next video right over here. See you guys on that next video. Take care.